This is a paid program. JJ Publicidad, EMR, and its owners and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guest.
Knowledge is power. Boost Your Business, the show that elevates your business with ideas, tips, advice, information, and tools that will take your business to the next level. Boost Your Business with Erika Sánchez begins now.
It's a paid program. JJ Publicidad.
Knowledge is power.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to BYB, Boost Your Business. I'm Erika Sánchez. Thank you so much for being here on another Saturday morning. Today I have an amazing topic to talk about. It's a little bit more different. Usually I bring like a mentor or an expert in a certain topic, but instead I brought in two great friends, two business owners, to join me on a really, really important topic, and it has to relate with women and entrepreneurship and our struggles that we encounter as business owners and entry-level entrepreneurs. But before I go into that topic and before I introduce you to the lovely ladies, I'm Erika. My company is called Thrive Profit Engineer. You guys can find me on thriveprofitengineer.com. I do consulting for business owners who need help with advancement in their business, helping them find gaps where they need help in operations, systems, and sales. I also help with franchising and ghost kitchens. So if you're an owner who has a great concept that was ready to elevate to the next level, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you move to the next level when it comes to that type of growth. So contact me at 602-500-7484. You can also find me with my email at esanchez@franchisecreator.com. I have multiple emails, but let's just keep that one because it's a lot simple. And if you guys go to my Franchise Creator website, you'll be able to find more information about how to franchise your business, how to add a ghost kitchen to your kitchen as well. Pretty much anything that you guys can think of when it comes to growth. So that is a little bit more about me. And again, BYB is a platform to bring experts, to bring people, bring solutions, to bring ideas, and also promote business owners' business here. And I also want to give a shout out to Carlos from Energy Air. He was a sponsor for today's show. I'll send you guys more information about Carlos Energy Air to how to contact him. But I want to give a shout out to Carlos and his company. They have an amazing concept. They focus on basically plumbing. They focus also in electrician work for commercial and residential. So Carlos is the owner of the company. There is his information. You can call him at 480-703-1457. And that is his email if you want to book an appointment with him for a consultation for your home or residential address. Thank you. All right, let's get started. So today's topic is going to be pretty much what are our entrepreneurs' challenges as we face and our obstacles, the bad and the good. And today I have two amazing ladies with me today who are also business owners. I have Cassie here in the house, and I have Raina. Yeah, well,
how's it going?
Welcome. And again, this is more of an open, I don't have an agenda for today. It's pretty much an open show because we're going to talk about so many things today. But the first thing I do want to mention something is that I looked something up very important before I give you guys time to introduce yourself. As of 2017, there were more than 11 million of U.S. business owners that were owned by women. All right, employing nearly 9 million people that generated 1.7 trillion in sales. Woo! So, yay to women. But that also tells me that there is so much, obstacles that we face. So, anyway, Cassie, introduce yourself. Tell us more about you and, what your business is.
Yeah.
And, get started.
All right. My name is Cassie Losky. My company is Controlled Chaos Consulting. I help small to medium-sized businesses develop their brand and really get to know who their customers are and how they can help them do life better.
That's awesome. Love it. Cassie, you're also a board member at America's Future. So talk to us more about America's Future.
Yeah, America's Future is a nonprofit organization that focuses with millennials specifically, 22 to 40. So there's some younger
entrepreneurs.
Like us, people who are civic minded and really want to get engaged in their community and level up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also a board member with Cassie, but Cassie's more involved than I am. I'm just there at least 2-3 hours a month.
You
but
support.
I love what we stand for, though. I like America's
Yeah.
Future because we are targeting more entrepreneurs, and I think that is why I'm so involved with it, because I like our target market, and I like the people that we have, and we have a great thing going on. So
Yeah.
she's amazing too.
It's definitely a group where we're trying to help people do what they want to
Of
do
course.
and find their own path and their own
Right.
journey and independence.
Yeah, and
So,
they need help. We
Yeah.
can give them resources.
yeah,
for
we
them
do
to find.
events and workshops and that kind of thing.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Cassie. Raina, introduce yourself. What is your business, and what do you do?
Okay, so I'm Reina Aragon. My business, well, I should say my partner and I have a business called The Network Global, and that's basically a production company. So what we're doing, we're building a show right now, and it's Latin-based. And so we're trying to target all 33 Latin countries
Nice.
globally. That's what we're doing there. It's very, very draining, I guess you could say.
A production company is more of like a TV, or how would you
TV,
describe our viewers? What exactly is that you're doing?
Yeah, so it is TV, but what we're doing right now is, like I said, building our show called Fuego Caliente.
Fuego Caliente, I love it.
Thank you. So we're building that from the ground up, and there's so much that it entails. There's, a lot of legalities, first and foremost. There's a lot of meetings that we have to go through, not to mention the interviews we have to go through for cast members, and there's been small hiccups here and there in that process. So it's like it kind of takes us back a few steps because of those issues. But basically what we're doing is we're just trying to showcase the Latin culture
Nice.
globally.
I love it. So two complete different
Oh, yeah.
fields, right? And then my field is very different too. And that's why I think it's so great, because there's so much I think there's so much room for opportunity for people to tap into, especially entrepreneurs, and that's what I was telling, someone, I think it was Austin, is that the new future is going to be people want to tap into being their own boss.
100%.
Yeah, they want to be their own, they like the work culture. They like working for a corporate company, but sometimes
Sometimes.
Some
people don't.
Because I pulled a plug when I was 29. That was 2 years ago. So I understand.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I want to talk about our challenges. I want to go around the table, and I want you guys to share. Obviously, not naming any person's names and things like that.
Spill the tea.
Let's talk about our challenges. And your guys' challenges of. There has to be something that you guys experience, and I made sure that I put it. We hide under the rug, because sometimes we go through it, and it was traumatic, and it never happened. I gotta move on. USA, move on, right? And that's what we try to do, and sometimes I tell certain friends, but we don't really take the time to really talk about it. So
Yeah.
I don't know who wants to go first.
I can go first.
All right, Cassie.
Okay. So I work with a lot of small businesses, and a lot of my horror stories come from potential clients or working with clients. And I had one who was in the packaging industry, and I was doing all sorts of marketing type work, writing, doing website design, that kind of thing.
Right.
And I worked with this guy for 6 months or so. And it was a busy time. I understand his industry. There was some crazy news going on then. Mm-hmm. And he just kind of stopped responding to me after I sent him a bill.
Okay.
Because we had an agreement. I did a certain amount of work per month for him. And if we went over, he needs to pay the overages.
Right.
So after I sent him that invoice, he just ghosted me.
Was it a lot?
At that time, I mean, we're talking like $1,000. However, the contract was for more. And it ended up escalating into him breaching the contract to the tune of about $6,500, which is not great when you're in your first year of business full time on your own, because I had left corporate world the year before.
Wow.
Yeah, that was, you know, financially stressful, but then also mentally just exhausting, because we had to go back and forth with our lawyers.
And that was money.
And that is money. Your time is money. Your energy is money. It's costing you pursuing new clients, new businesses. And I worked a lot with my SCORE business mentor, which is score.org, SCORE. They are free business mentors. It's paid through the Small Business Association. I'm a huge advocate for it.
Me too.
Yeah,
I'm actually a teacher there.
Yeah.
Follow me, everyone.
Yeah. So I learned so much from my mentor, and it's like, if you had $10,000 to $20,000 extra just lying around, not being utilized as a startup company,
Right.
well, then maybe you can pursue this guy in court and get what you're owed.
Of course.
But I mean, this guy would yell at me. He would, you know, he was just so disrespectful. I watched how he treated his employees, and I was like, when this contract is done, I am out. But he preemptively ended it. So it was just like, you know, would he have treated everyone the same way? Maybe. I mean, he apologized once to me for how he treated me. That was before the whole breach of contract. But I mean, he's just one of those toxic energies, and
Let me stop you there for a moment.
Yeah.
How did you feel the moment that he was putting you down?
Oh, yeah.
How did it affect you in your personal life? I'm sure it
Oh
did.
my gosh. Yeah. You know, it just affected everything, like as far as, you know, mental health wise, my relationship with my now husband. You know, it just puts a lot of stress on everything when you're going through something that's so hard, and it feels very personal, especially when you're very young in that business. And it felt very personal to me. But as soon as I started telling a couple of close friends about it, they were like, oh, that guy? Yeah, he did that to so-and-so. He did the same thing to that person. So it's like, we need to talk, you guys. Like, so I think this conversation is very important.
Absolutely.
To share these stories, and like, how can we get through this together, especially as women.
Of course. Now, now going back, now that you are in the future from what happened, what would have you done differently in the past to avoid? I know you tweaked something to those agreements.
Oh yeah,
I know I do.
Oh yeah, I had my lawyer look over that contract, and even though it was very clear, and I probably would have won a judgment, that doesn't mean I would have got my money through having that legal litigation system, because they can resist, and he who has the most money wins, really, when it comes to legal matters like
Fortunately,
that. Yeah. So looking back now, like, have your standards set and don't budge from it, and don't get, for lack of a better term, desperate. Like, don't think like, I need this person, I need this contract, because there were a lot of red flags in the initial conversations and stuff with him, where I was like, you know, I probably shouldn't, but I was so excited about the industry it was in.
And it was money. It
was cash
bills.
money. Yeah. Legitimately cash. And, you know, he avoided reporting that to the IRS, too. So there's, like, other things that I could have done. But it's like, you know, do I want to spend my energy on something so negative that is just going to continue to be negative for who knows how long, especially with the court system? So, you know, listen to your instincts, especially women. We're really bad about that.
We don't listen to them.
We
sometimes.
don't.
Oh,
and then we feel the pain later.
Yeah, we're like, oh, it's me. Maybe I'm just emotionally unstable. But it's telling you, don't do it.
Yes.
Don't do it. But we still do it.
Which is why I think it's important to have a mentor, because they're that level person that has no investment in you. Like, there's nothing they're getting out of it other than mentoring you. And my mentor has really been my sounding board for saying, like, whoa, Cassie, you need to, like, stop talking to these people. You need to do this differently. I mean, that has completely changed my life. But that was just, like, the horror story that, I still like cringe, and that feeling of like shame and embarrassment that I allowed that to happen, that I
Right.
worked with someone who was so bad, like I do believe is a bad person.
Yeah. And I want to also say that even though in what level, because you're also a mentor to many people and to many business owners, I think we're all mentors in some way.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what level you're in your career and as a leader, as a consultant, or as production or even marketing. It's okay to always seek for help, because even I have a mentor, even though I'm the one out there coaching people on how to grow their business. I still have 2 or 3 mentors that are women and men, just because I like to get.
Great.
I have to get more.
I need a female mentor.
Yes, we need more, especially
women.
female. So,
Yeah.
and I guess I'm very picky, but I always look at like, okay, can this person really give me a different opinion or feedback than the way I
Yes.
think? Get people. It's okay to get other mentors, because
I think it's essential in your growth
very
as
essential.
a person and as an entrepreneur too.
Yeah.
I mean, and especially with stuff like SCORE, it's free. Like what? And just because it's free doesn't mean it's quality. I mean,
Right.
these are retired entrepreneurs or retired executives
Mm-hmm.
too. And so I think the way to grow faster is to have more people in your life that are really ready to tell you the truth.
I agree 100%, and be open for feedback. Be open for
Yes.
that knowledge, because it's very critical. But, well, thank
Yeah.
you, Cassie, for sharing
Yeah.
that. All right, Raina, I know you have plenty of stories, and I'll share mine at the end. But this is your guys' moment. I want to leave it to you. Excuse me, to you guys.
Begin, because I have so many.
We're talking all negative stories, but we'll share good stories too. Okay, and it's not always going to be negative.
Yeah, so I guess if I want to start from the beginning, my very first negative experience was when I did start my business, Empress Couture, which is a fashion company.
Oh.
Something I'm very,
Very different.
Yes, I'm very
Yeah.
passionate
I
about
thought you were
it.
still doing fashion for some reason. You're not doing fashion.
No,
still?
I
You
am.
still are?
It's just, I don't want to rush it. I have to have it perfect, because I'm a perfectionist, like I said before. I just, there's so many things I want to do, but also the other business, it does take a lot of time and planning as well, so I'm kind of in between.
Okay.
But with the fashion company, going into partnership with someone, that's one thing I will say. If you're going to go into partnership with somebody, please do your homework, and please make sure it's somebody that you're going to work very well with, and you're not
Right.
going to bump heads and clash. That's very important. So when I went into business, this person did not have any kind of understanding of business. See, and a lot of us women, like, you've gone to school for business. I'm in school for business. And so, you learn things, but then business school doesn't teach you certain things.
How to
They
run
don't
a
teach you-
exactly.
They don't
There's
teach
a
you
lot.
the
There's a
street
lot.
marks.
Yes,
Yeah, no.
exactly.
They know. When I tapped into, I'm like, what?
Yeah, there's a
is
lot that business school is not going to teach you
The
outside
school of life will teach you.
of, yeah,
the
outside of
people you're
school.
dealing with.
Right. So, this person didn't know about business.
Okay.
So I had to kind of run it down, how to start a website, how to build from there, how to do the shipping and handling, just every
Every
little
aspect.
small detail.
Of course.
Didn't really have any fashion sense, I would say, as far as like understanding what people wanted. I'm very particular with my fashion. I'm extremely picky
Of course,
with
yeah.
what I put on, and there was a certain look that I was aiming for. I wanted to do clothing that's very classy. I I wanted to do more for corporate because there's not a whole lot for
Right.
that.
Well, this person was a female or was it a
Female.
male? It was a female. Okay.
So we kind of start bumping heads because, you know, she wanted things done this way. And I think she wanted to be over me, like me answer to her. I'm like, no, it does not work that
Right.
way.
You guys had a talk that you were the majority of the owner and she was.
No, we were in a partnership.
Equal partnership.
But see, I did everything from designing the logos, picking the colors, the fonts, you know, handling the paperwork for the LLC.
That's
Trying
the fun
to
stuff.
right, trying to find, you know, a business owner who builds websites who can get us, you know, an SSL certificate, have all that covered. She really didn't have that understanding, so I had to kind of tell her, you know, this is why we need this. This is why we have to do this.
Right.
And to make a long story short, it bumped heads so much so that, I mean, she kind of did something in a very negative way, which made me doubt having her as a partner. So
What did she do? Give us a little bit of information there. We want to hear. We don't have no names, but I want to know a little bit of what you do. Because
Well,
that's the thing. We don't want to keep we don't want to keep hiding it. We want to know.
I think she did something more of a betrayal,
Okay.
and it made me doubt her as a partner, and she was upset, and I just told her, you know, how can I trust you as my business partner if I can't even trust you as a friend of mine?
Okay.
You know,
It was
and
very, very
it was
personal,
just,
yeah.
it went
Which
south
I
from
think
then.
is something to think about too. Is like, are you going to be a partner with a friend? Should you
Right.
go in business with friends?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yes, but maybe also no.
And
Very good point.
that's important because I was told that from the very beginning.
Oh, yeah?
You know, things like this could cause you to lose your friendship because if you don't see eye to eye on something, you know, you guys are going to bump heads and you guys are going to end up having arguments. It's going to kind of tarnish your friendship. So that's what happened. But I mean, it was a lot of disloyalty on that end. And I mean, it's even gone as far as aside from that situation to where, you know, the Network Global having meetings with men who came to my partner and I and want to be potential investors.
Yeah.
And, you know, my partner Danny would tell me, you know, you need to see what they're interested in. Are they truly interested in what we're doing as a business or are they interested in you?
Right.
So, you know,
That's my next question.
I know you have stories.
I have it right there on my list of we're gonna go. But keep going. Sorry, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no. So then that's you know, it's expected as a woman. It's kind of, you just kind of expect it, and that was in the back of my mind. So going into these meetings, I would tell them, you know, okay, let's sit down, let's talk, we're gonna have a meeting and we'll go over things. Well, see, in business as a woman with men, man, that it's
It's a date, right?
you know,
Pretty much.
They think
You know.
it's something more than business.
yeah. So, you know, and then when you're a female in business dealing with men, you have to be almost as good and stronger, almost more so than your male counterparts.
Oh, yeah.
So,
It's like because you have to find that good balance between being soft and warm and having that edge and having your boundaries and being very, you know,
Yeah.
real.
You nailed it right
Exactly.
there, Cassie. And I also say that I don't like the way that they don't take us serious.
Exactly.
If I were a guy and I'm sitting down and I have the same knowledge, I'm smart, I know exactly, or even more than this other guy.
Which we do most of the time.
Most of the time, it's true. They don't look at us as what we have here. They look at what is physical sometimes, and they look at, oh, I can probably go on a date later on and probably sleep with her. Oh, I don't know, want to get her
Exactly.
pants.
exactly. And
You know?
that was kind of the issue. You know, we're going into this meeting and they're like, okay, well, I have millions of dollars. I've had a few of them tell me that. I have millions of dollars. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, I got 2 stories like that.
He said, okay, if you are serious, then we'll sit down and we'll have a meeting. So
Oh my gosh.
my partner Danny and I have, we've created our business plan and we sit down and here's our business proposal with contracts. And so when you're actually sitting down, finally having the meeting, it kind of, you call their bluff because now they don't think you're that serious. It's like, my time is priceless. That's one thing I don't like to waste my time. If you're going to come to me as a potential investor and you want to sit down and have a meeting, I need you to be serious. So when I present this business plan, these proposals, these contracts, and my partner's next to me, he's the CEO of the company. Right. So when he's sitting there next to me, and I think, people get very intimidated by him. He has a brilliant mind. I love working with him. But, awesome. When they see, okay, she has a partner and it's a male partner, then they're kind of like, so then in this instance, I had the guy, well, I wanted to have a meeting with you. And I said, it doesn't work that way. Him and I are partners. I do nothing, absolutely nothing without him present. Yeah. And then, it goes from, okay, well, here's what I want to share with you. I want to share something about my company. And so my partner and I are kind of like, well, I thought we're here because you want to invest in what we're doing. We didn't reach out to you. You reached out to us, so we're trying to talk business. And so then they're like, okay, well, we'll get back to you. And then he would message me and say, hey, we're going out, some friends and I, to the bar. Do you want to go and hang out, kind of get to know each other? And I said, no, that's like a red flag to me. And he said, well, I told you I want to get to know who I'm dealing with before I start dealing with them. And I said, well, then if that's the case, then my partner can be there. And he's
and
like,
it should be there.
Right. And it could be in during the morning. It doesn't have to be at night after the bar.
Right. Yeah. And he said, but I wanted to do business with you. And I said, no, it doesn't work that way. If my partner as the CEO of the company cannot be present, then I have no business doing business with you.
I just feel like in general as women, working with men or trying to work with men, whether in partnership situations or like with clients, they speak to us differently.
They do.
And it's nothing that, when explaining this or sharing these stories, it's hard to exactly say this is what he's doing. He's being a misogynist. He's being a sexist. He's judging me.
Yeah.
But we feel it and we know it in our gut that they are disrespectful and they don't respect women in the same as they do other men.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. We're going to go in a short commercial in a few minutes, but when I come back, we'll pick it up with where you left off, and then I'll share a quick story of my part, and it's very similar to yours, I would say. And actually, it happens a lot, and it has to do with people wasting our time because I was working with a couple investors, and I'll go more in details, but don't go away. Stay where you're at. We'll be going in a quick commercial. And again, I also want to give a shout out to remind you guys to Carlos from Energy Air. He is the founder of an amazing platform with Energy Air LLC. He does plumbing, he does air conditioning, I think a couple other things that he does for commercial and residential. A great person. Actually, I have him coming to the show, the next show on the 20th. He's coming on the show. So I can't wait to share his story too, as a great, amazing story as a business owner with his wife. But yeah, so don't go away. We'll be right back. Thank you guys.
Don't take off just yet. We have a lot more to share. We will be back in 3, 2, 1.
Y quiero invitarte a mi programa Ser Mamá, los miércoles a las 7 de la noche por Entre Mujeres Radio, porque Entre Mujeres Radio es mi radio.
Done deal. This is Boost Your Business with Erika Sánchez.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We are here with this lovely, lovely business owners, entrepreneurs, Cassie and Reina. We were just talking about, our challenges as entrepreneurs and our struggles. And, Cassie shared a story of her and a client that she was dealing with, obviously, that was not the nicest guy and never paid. And
Still only 6,500, and you know who you are.
that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Especially in
horrible.
startup world.
Gosh. And then we were talking with Reina about, I would call it sexual advances, misleading a lot of the girls because they see that they want money. So what are they going to do? They're going to try to push to see how far someone will go for money. And no. Doesn't work that way. So we're talking about that. So I'm sorry, we interrupted you. So continue your story.
No, it's just, you have to deal with that. And then I had to deal a lot with a lot of people not liking the fact that my partner and I did start working together and did start a business together. I got a lot of hatred from all sides. He did too.
Were you guys very well known? Is that why?
Well, we had been friends for years, 14
But I mean,
years.
people who were hating. You guys are well known, with other people, followers. Yeah, is that why? Okay.
And so, but it's people who do know him personally or know me personally, and just didn't like the fact that him and I had that partnership, and so it became a mess. It became a lot of drama, and I'm not one to do drama. I've been called, a drama queen just for defending myself. But that's the thing. If you're going to come for somebody and you're going to be negative and you're going to try to tarnish their character and, say all these negative things, you can't expect someone to not
Respond back.
Yeah, exactly.
Defend yourself. Defend your brand, you
Right.
and your
Right.
company, because you are the CEO.
Right,
You are
and
facing. Yeah.
It just, it got to the point where I was being stalked. Still am.
Oh,
I
my
still
goodness.
am. But I really don't have time for that. It just got to the point where it got really out of hand, and then I had to take a different route. And that I kind of keep a little under wraps on what I'm doing there. But, it just didn't look very professional.
Right.
Going back and forth. And so, but like we were talking earlier, you got a taste of what it was to deal with on my end, having people stalk you or how they.
So let me share that story.
Yeah,
Let me share that story. So, when usually promote when we're gonna promote Entre Mujeres Radio or Emotion Radio, we do a social media post at least a few days before the Saturday that I'm gonna be posting it. So I shared Reina and I shared Cassie the photo and the video so they can post it on social media. And then immediately a few hours after Reina had posted her post and tagged me, someone of her followers follow me then on Facebook and then got my work phone number from Facebook, sent me a text and said to me, is literally acting that it's Reina, but what they don't know that Reina is a friend that I know. And the person was saying, hey, it's me, Reina. I work for Victoria's Secrets. What is your bra size so that I can send you bras? And I'm like, Reina, is this you? I'm over here telling...
Texting the real number.
Yeah, and then she's like, no, and she immediately called them back. So I understand, we just have to learn how to protect and block them. So immediately what I did, I blocked this person. I don't know who they are. I blocked them. I follow them, whatever. So we just have to learn to be more aware and learn how to just cut them out if we need to, So.
Especially when it comes to our safety. It gets to the point of where you're concerned about if
Yeah.
you're going to be safe or if something's going to happen to you. Like,
I agree.
we need to extend those boundaries and not be
Absolutely.
afraid to be assertive about it, and also not be afraid to be called a drama queen because you're defending yourself.
I've been called so many
absolutely.
names. I've been called drama queen. I've been called, oh, you're fake, and which I'm like, well, you don't even know me, so how are you gonna call me what I'm not? Because this is how I think.
Yeah.
I get into what I get into, and I'm doing this business with my partner because I want to help people. That brings me joy, and other people want to bring their negative energy, and I don't have time for that negativity. But you're gonna be mad at that. I'm in school. I'm doing a business. I'm doing a lot of different things.
You're on
And-
a mission. You are
exactly
on a mission, and
Yeah.
that's what you matter. And we shouldn't care what people have to say. I mean, we care
It's
what
hard.
people have to say, but we can't always make everyone happy.
Right.
So
right.
I think mindset is the biggest thing, especially
Exactly.
when you're just starting your business, is to know that your value and your purpose does not reflect based on your productivity,
Of course.
what you do, or
Yeah.
what people think
Yeah,
of
and
you.
that's why I always tell people, you can't be mad at the next woman or the next person for that matter. Everyone has 24 hours in their day. It is up to you to decide what you're going to do with that time.
Absolutely.
Are you going to be going back and forth with someone and wasting your time that way, and be mad because
Yeah.
they're, progressing? Or are you going to focus on you and make you better?
Absolutely. Well
Right.
said, Raina. Well said. Well, look, I'm going to share a quick, because I have a few questions that I want to ask both of you ladies, but I'm going to share a little bit of taste of what had happened. So I come from the corporate field. I was very blessed that I worked very hard, got educated, and I went to the corporate, worked for franchise companies. Never had to experience nothing like that until 2 years ago when I got into the community. I got more involved. I got to learn all certain groups that are here in Arizona. Like I like to call it like a village. I don't know if that's the right word to describe it. It's like a village here. It's just so small. Everyone knows each other. So if you disagree with someone, there you go. They're gonna bash your reputation. So
Right.
it's learning those techniques.
Yeah.
And if you guys have to say it, please say it. But when I became an entrepreneur in my own business, I got to taste a little bit of what you see on TV, because I never had people sexually made advances to me. At work, we got HR. You report it to HR. There's an investigation. It's non-negotiable. It's not tolerant. They fire you immediately. If there's anything that shows email or a text, or there was a meeting and there was something verbally said, you're fired. Like, that is how strict we were in corporate. Like, you're protected, especially if you're in a company that is that protects culture. There was actually one person that I knew at the time that was supposedly helping me, guiding me, and what I encountered with this person was he was trying to use me. He just used me for information, and it got to the point where he actually threatened me.
Oh, wow.
Because
That's ridiculous.
he gave me I think I told you the story.
Yeah.
I told you about the story. He gave me a connection to meet with a well-known like accountant kind of person, and this person and me kind of hit it off. So he offered to be an investor. He's like, hey, you know what? I like you a lot. I think that if we can unite your firm and my firm, we can share all the clients, and we can all keep it together. I'm like, okay, this sounds like a sweet deal. Why are you being too nice to me? Why are you offering everything to me? That's the first
When
thing.
he just
Yeah.
met you.
When he just met me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what's crazy, I'm like, okay, maybe it's the universe. I see 111-333. Maybe the universe is saying that this is. maybe I'm like, maybe it's a sign that this is supposed to. So, and I know it's funny, but I'm like, I'm listening to my spiritual side. I'm like, maybe it's not good to be. It's not too good to be true. So I said, yes, why not? So we go to dinner, and he's like, okay. We talked about numbers. I showed him my projections that I can make for the next, year or 2 years. A really good firm. He's like, what do you need? How much do you need? I'm like, well, whatever you think that you can provide, I'll give you a percentage of the company.
Yeah, like a ratio type
Basically.
situation. Yeah.
A sweat equity, something like that. And then it turned out that he said, yes, I'll work with the numbers and we'll meet up next meeting. So I called my other friend that connected me to this guy.
Yeah. Like,
The
hey, thanks.
Wait, this is what he said. Oh, I know everything. I know where you are at. I know who you're with. Oh, I know. And you know what? It's not cool that this week says it's not cool that you went above me. And you made this.
Above you.
Yeah, he said is that you went above me and made a deal with someone that I'm connected with, and you didn't tell me. Where's my cut?
Wow.
Give me my cut, Erica.
So he wanted to be the middleman.
He's like, and he told me, you don't want to F with me. Sorry for language. You don't want to F with me.
Wow.
I want my cut. And I'm like,
That was no deal before that.
and I was like, you're joking, right? I thought he was messing with me. But because I really respect this guy. And this guy is well known in the community.
Yeah.
This guy is like well known. That's why I'm like,
Does he do this to
wow,
everyone?
like, I'm in trouble. You know why? Because if I say no to him, then I can burn a bridge with someone that is well known
And loud.
and loud. Yeah. So why? Because I'm a woman? Because I'm a beginner. I'm an entry level. And he knows that I need reputation. He knows that I need network. So you know what I did? I waited a few days. I'm like, F you. No way you're gonna talk to me that way. Second one, you're not gonna threaten me. You're
Right.
not gonna. I don't care who you are. You don't threaten anyone. And just because I'm new in the community does not mean that you can threaten me around. So I blocked this guy.
What a bully.
Yeah, it's a bully. He tried to scare me. And I'm like, what? No. But this other guy that supposedly wanted to invest with me, when I told him no, because they're connected, he even took it offensively. And then he's like, well, I like you. And I'm like,
They sound like they're up to no good together.
exacto.
Seems like a scam.
Pretty much.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. So, and that's something that I think I struggle because I got to taste that type of, well, at least with the men, and I'm like, whoa, okay, well, I don't. It's not about men and women, but I know everyone could be that way. But it was very challenging, and it did affect me because I looked up to this person as a brother, or I looked at him like someone that I can trust. But he was using me for he bullied me. He literally bullied me, and I literally had a rough week. I couldn't let it go. But
I don't know how it can't affect you, though. So I think it's okay to allow yourself to feel what you felt and
Yeah.
don't feel ashamed of that.
right,
Because, like, it's just, bad intentions that you have to live with.
yeah, and you know what? I think I saw the red flags, but I
Yeah. You
I-
justify it.
justified
Yeah,
it.
you justify. This could be a big opportunity.
The
Yeah.
doubt. That's
Yeah.
the thing. And
Yeah.
it does
Yeah.
become, I think, discouraging when it starts happening and it's repetitive. When
Yeah.
you're having these meetings with men who are coming in the disguise of business,
Yeah.
it does become a little discouraging because all you're trying to do is move forward and be
And do
productive
something
with your
with
business.
yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to make your business grow, but they see that you're hungry, so
Right.
that I'm gonna find a way to get her to get what she wants, but I'm gonna get what I want.
And they feed on that.
They feed on that. Yeah. So anyway, but that's my story. After that, I got like stronger and stronger. I'm like,
You are.
don't mess with me. You know, we have to, right? So, but I have a question for you, ladies. So, we just talked briefly about maybe sexual advances. I want to talk a little bit about that. You mentioned a lot. Have you ever gone through something that, because we are, and we're dealing with men, we're dealing with women too, but when it comes to sexual advances, have you ever been asked by someone, well, I can give you this if you
Yes.
gave me what? Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh.
There was someone who was actually an owner of a lot of different commercial properties. Had 5 different companies, very well off. But I think some men think that if they try to woo a woman with money, that she's automatically gonna
Right. It's going to sleep or fall for that.
Yeah, and that to me, I will look at you a little differently if you try to approach me in that manner, because I'm not turned on by money. So he was saying, oh, I want to, you know what, I love what you're doing with the Latin community. I want to be an investor. I want to sit down with you and your partner. I want to have a meeting. And he was really serious. He's like, I can fly out there and we can set it up. And so I was like, okay, he seems a little serious, you know.
Yeah, and it sounds like he was love bombing to you.
Yeah, and he eventually he was started telling me, you know, if you want, you could come. I will buy your plane ticket. You could come over here. You could stay at my house in the other room.
What?
Exactly. Or I could get you a hotel if you're not comfortable with it. He said, I will give you your own credit card and you can go on a shopping spree and buy whatever you want, as much as you want. You know, I just want to show you that, you know, you got a friend here. And I'm like, you know, nothing is for free.
There are websites for what he wants that arrangement to be. So.
And I'm sitting here
wrong
like,
spot, not business.
And see, for the men that don't know or who think of being potential investors or want to come, you know, at me and want to message me talking about being a potential investor, well, they need to have an understanding that I run everything by my partner.
Right.
Everything. Like, he even knows I'm doing this show. Nothing goes past him. I don't hide nothing from him. We work as a team, and you know, him and I have a saying: "It's teamwork makes the dream work." So I do not hide anything from him. So, you know, these men that are coming at me, I let him know. You know, this is what they're saying.
And your partner is your business partner. You're not like
we're in a relationship, and I think that's where a lot of people became even more angry. Because he was so busy and I was so busy. We were both busy with our everyday lives, but then, you know, doing the business portion of it, and we were around each other. And so we didn't really have any time to really date other people. And because him and I were around each other so much, it just,
this is me together.
It blossomed, but
awesome.
Him and I were always really, really amazing friends for the
longest
time.
You know what? I like that because I think that kind of is like you and your husband, because your husband is amazing. I've seen him to come to all the meetings.
He's so supportive.
Comes to the meetings. So
Luke, you were the bomb. And
is
actually,
he here?
No.
Oh,
but today is our 1-year wedding anniversary.
Happy anniversary!
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Well, I'm very blessed that you're here with me today.
Thank you.
So let's just give a shout out to Cassie and her husband. Well. Yeah, I think that's amazing that it works. So if it works for you guys, I've seen it work with you guys. I know that's your business, and I know he has a full-time job, a very successful full-time job. Your husband is very smart. I've met him a few times, but he's over there to support you, and he's always helping around at America's Future. So
being the sounding board, being my little cheerleader, you know, helping me just keep me sane. I mean, he knows how my day is going by how many times I've sighed deeply. Because he works at home, I work from home. We have our separate spaces, but, you know, he just allows me to grow how I want to grow, and really encourages that. And I don't think you have to have a business partner for that. You know, you can have a friend that does that, that plays that role for you. But I think it's just good to be open to other people.
I agree.
Supporting you.
And it's definitely important. 'Cause,
love it.
You know, my partner, he was just basically, you know, he pays very special attention to detail, and so anything wrong with me, it's like he can sense it, and he's like, what's wrong? And I'll be like, nothing, because I don't want to burden you with problems, but he's just like, no, what's wrong? And he was, it's what I love about him. That's why I love him so much, because he is, no matter where we are, if we kind of bump heads, which is not a whole lot, but no matter what, he's always there, and he's like, you know what, I believe in you, you can do this.
Yes.
You know, don't worry about what other people say, they're beneath you.
You know your worth.
You know,
Yeah.
you're amazing. He's like, you're up here and they're here, and this is why people hate you so much. He's like, but you be the woman that you're meant to be, that God made you to be. That's the type of person he is, and I love that about him, and I do the same to him.
That's
you
awesome.
know, and that's very important. So when I have situations like, you know, these people coming in to our world and, you know, wanting to be a part of it, but then trying to make those advances, and then I get discouraged, and he feels it.
Yeah.
You know, that energy is transferable, so he feels it, and he's like, come on, let's not, because when you're down, then it brings me down. He's like, and we need to stay
Absolutely.
up here. So
yeah, no, I have a very short story about something like that. I was building another business model. So even though I do have a lot of things going on with my week, I don't have time for anything else, but I wanted to build a business plan. So I was working very hard in building 2 different projects for 2023, 2024. And one of the projects required a large amount of investment, a large capital, and it was about the 1.5, almost $2 million investment. Wow. And I was very fortunate to meet certain people who are connected with football players, retired NFL players, or so that's what he was saying. Again, what can you believe, right? When he met me, he was like, wow, you're very smart. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you. I don't know if I was supposed to be
A surprise?
not surprised,
Is that a surprise?
And we had a meeting. He said, okay, we went for lunch, and he wanted to get to know me. It was during the day. He told me, what do you need? What do you want? Tell me what you want. I'm like, well, I need this amount of money, and this is how much I'm willing to give. And I gave him a rundown. He's like, I have a better idea for you. Why don't I make you the CEO of this other business model that I have? Tell me what you want. Whatever you want. You pick your salary. You tell me what you want. I have everything that I can provide to you. I'm like, okay. All right, let me think about it. You know? 'Cause I'm like,
that's completely different idea than you were going in there with.
Exacto. So I'm like, okay, cool. Then in that same day, I actually drove him with my car to that place to have lunch because he left his car in my office. Getting off the car, he's like, oh, let's just get over with it. Give me a kiss.
oh my gosh,
Out
straightforward.
of nowhere.
But you know what that tells me is that he's done this before.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
think women fall for that, or certain girls or whatever, they fall for that. So he assumed that.
Did you leave him there? Because I would have left him
Oh,
there.
I did. I'm like, oh, I don't roll that way. I don't roll that way. And after that, things changed. So he wasn't really wanting to be part of whatever. Like, it was just lies. And
Yeah.
But it didn't move too extreme because I picked it up very quickly. And I'm like, okay, bye-bye.
Done with that.
Yeah.
Moving
So,
on. Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, we do go through those certain things. So that's the only thing. But anyway, I do have questions for you guys. So maybe Cassie,
Yeah.
maybe Cassie this question.
Sure.
When you first started, how did you cope with fear of failure?
Ooh,
I'll go to you, too.
man. So I had been doing the type of work that I do, freelancing on the side while I worked a full-time corporate job. And when I took it full-time, it was completely different than when I was doing it, part-time. So like mindset was just a huge thing that I struggled with.
Yeah.
So how do I deal with that feeling of failure or the fear of failure?
Yeah.
I think reminding myself what the current situation is and that I wouldn't be where I am if I had failed. But also just understanding that failure doesn't actually always mean that it's a bad thing.
Exactly.
And especially when you get into business, we talk a lot about failing first and fast. So it's actually good to fail right away and quickly so you can learn from it and move on. So I think there is a big mindset switch that has to occur about, you know what? I accept that there will be failure. Not everything I do is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I'm letting this idea of having everything to be perfect in stopping me from growing and trying it out. And, so we have to really have like this growth mindset and this idea that I'm going to reiterate what I'm doing no matter what. So maybe it won't be perfect at first, or my approach or how I do things, but have more opportunities to do that. So
Of course, yeah.
really, like failure, I just try not to think about it very much.
Good.
If I have a big L, then I'll be overthinking it probably. But I try not to dwell on it, you know?
Very well. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
What about you, Raina?
How fear has impacted me, I would say my
Coping with like
my biggest thing would be I tend to second guess myself.
Okay.
That's big, and I think for me, I've always known what I wanted to do and the direction I wanted to go.
Okay.
So I'm very headstrong. So when I want something, I will work hard until I accomplish it. And so for me, I've always wanted to do business. And I would tend to second guess myself, like, okay, where do I start? But I'm one who I will do hours and hours of research because I love to research, but I love to self-educate. So, I mean, I researched highs and lows, but then, you know, I told myself, I've done this before in certain things, you know, other things. But I do have that potential. I see it in myself. I believe in myself, and I know I can. It's just putting myself out there to do it. So, you know, that's when I start, you know, taking one step at a time. Okay, let's do this. Let's start the paperwork. Let's file, you know, with the state. Let's go from there. And that's basically what it is. I just tend to second guess myself, but then I have to kind of take a moment by myself, and I'll sit there and I will, this is, you know, what I do. I don't know if anybody else goes through, you know, that you tend to stress yourself out, but I start putting on videos that are motivational.
I do that all the time.
You can do it.
Music too.
I do that too as well. I listen to that kind of music. I listen to the motivational
You know what?
videos.
There's something about that. Is whatever you hear, whatever you listen to, it feeds your energy. It feeds your mindset, your subconscious mind. So if it's more positive things and it's good music, it's not like, I mean, you can listen to rap and all that, rock and things. I would sometimes, but if you can listen to something powerful, motivational things, it works your subconscious mind, because I believe in that stuff a lot.
I do too. I didn't used to when I first started. I thought it was just some like hippy dippy stuff, you know, like mindset and you can change things and like that kind of thing. But I think also, you know, you sound like you're a researcher and you like to have things planned before, but also just looking at like the evidence. What evidence actually proves this fear is wrong?
Exacto.
What evidence prove it's right? Most likely you're making it up in your head.
You're talking yourself out.
Second guessing yourself, you know? So relatable.
And I like to just tell myself, if it's something, this is a big thing, because people try to go into business and really not know what they really want to do. I have to tell people, and I have to tell this to myself. I was talking to my sister about this just the other day. You know, as long as it's your passion and you're extremely passionate about what you're doing, you can't lose. Absolutely. Because you gotta wake up every morning and you have to love what you're doing.
Yeah, no one is paying your bills. You're the one doing it. But I love what you're saying. I love what you said. We're almost coming to our end to our show, but before we end up the show, I want to say thank you for being here. It's not the easiest topic to talk about. Even I struggle to talk about those two scenarios. I'm like, oh my goodness, should I share those stories?
Yeah.
But we have to, because I'm sure many people who are watching have gone through those, or they're the ones who are doing it. They need to stop, or people who are who need that support, saying, "Hey, you know, they're doing it. We can do it." You know, so they're not alone. You know, and this is also a way for us to let those things go. As today, we let those things. We can move forward and not think about those things anymore, because we're working in the present. The past is the past. You know. But again, thank you, ladies. Raina, Cassie, you guys have been amazing. Yeah, my pleasure. You guys are always welcome to come here anytime. This is your casa. But this is Control Chaos website. So if you guys want to book an appointment with Cassie, click on the contact there. You can book a session with her. She has amazing, and this is her Instagram account as well. You guys can follow her and get to know more about her personal life as well.
Yeah.
With Raina, I think we posted your Facebook account here. They can find Raina there. You guys book an appointment with her as well, or maybe get to know her a little bit more of what she does and her fuego. What is it called?
Fuego Caliente.
Fuego Caliente.
It's through the Network Global. So if anybody is interested in being a potential investor, you can send me a message. But serious serious investors only.
Don't waste my time.
Guys, we picked up the red flags already. We're good, so we're gonna need to see money. All right. So before I leave you guys, I want to give you guys a quote. Usually, I always do a quote so I can motivate you guys a little bit when it comes to business. So, hard times are often blessing in disguise. Let go and let life straighten you. No matter how much it hurts, hold your head up and keep going. This is an important lesson to remember when you're having a rough day, a bad month, or a crappy year. Truth be told, sometimes the hardest lessons to learn are the ones your spirit needs the most. Your past was never a mistake. You've learned from it. So take all the crazy experiences and lessons and place them in a box labeled "Thank You" by Manisha Shrestha Bandela. All right, you guys. Well, I'll let you guys go. Have a blessed weekend, and I'll see you guys on the next Saturday. And God bless you guys. Bye.
Bye.
This great deal has already started. We are waiting for you with more tools to take your company to the next level in the next edition of Boost Your Business.